I kind of do the same thing when I'm watching tabletop stuff too, so I understand it.
Yeah, unless people are using Roll20, I'm the same way.
Yeah. This is all going to be word-based, though. We're going to be building everything through audio, so...
We're going old school, theater of the mind.
Yep.
Okay, so let me make sure I got this. So we got ShitRon, who I affectionately call Shitty, and he's got the gang called the Shitstorm. Mm-hmm. No nose, scorched eyes. I forgot to write down what weapons you have. What weapons do you have?
I have a sawed-off and a machete.
Cool.
Are we all back?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Paul?
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry, I was muted. Yeah, I'm here.
and then Serge Falconov, right?
Yep.
AKA Stitch.
Yep.
And you got a loud pistol that's kind of like all hodgepodge together, and the only thing like original looking is the cylinder that the bullets load into, right?
Yeah, basically. So, like, that looks like it came off of, like, just a standard Magnum or something. Everything else is, like, shitty copper tubing I found at a dump, or, like, maybe a wooden grip that, like, I kind of slammed into it to make it stick. Like, it's just a piece of garbage, and I try not to use it.
Cool. And it's loud as fuck, right?
Oh, yeah. Like, it'll make you go deaf if it's near your near your head.
And you're like mid-30s to early 40s. You wear a white hoodie, and on the front of it, you've got where you've actually taken blood from people that you've worked on or tried to save.
Yeah, like kind of like a
that
wipe
medical
off
symbol, right?
Yeah, so like it's like my wipe off gown sort of thing. Only like I just did it in like a cross.
Gotcha. So people know you're a medic. Look, like, so if I look across the way, I'm like, there's fucking
help
Stitch
is coming
right over there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got a doctor's mask with a hole poked in it so you can smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, so I don't have to take my mask off when I'm dealing with patients.
Perfect. And do you smoke regular cigarettes? Do you smoke a cigar? What do you smoke?
Like whatever I can find, but I have some cigarettes. Cigarettes are basically like the thing I barter for most. Like
Gotcha.
I'll heal people just like instead of getting paid, I'll like accept cigarettes.
You're like, fuck, you have Marlboro Golds, right on.
Yeah, they're kind of hard to come by these days, so I kind of have to get them where I can. I mean, I would be using the barter money they would give me anyways, probably for cigarettes, so like cut out the middleman.
Gotcha. Okay, Chris, we were just kind of going over, I had written down some stuff, so I was making sure I had the right stuff for each guy.
Sure. All right, let's see. Let's start. So for the rest of the game, I'm basically figuring out what's going on with all of you guys and what kind of the environment is. At least today, that's the rest of the game.
Yeah, perfect.
So,
Is there like a bar or place we can meet up and chit chat?
Do you want there to be a bar or a place where you can meet up and chit chat?
Well, I'm picturing that there's probably like there's some civilizations still around and they have like the shanty shithole shacks sort of thing with like where the only thing you can really buy is like water and whiskey or something like that. There's no food options really. Maybe some rat that was cooked up and found.
Okay.
And I'll toss this one out. Like, usually when we see like the apocalypse, in Mad Max, it's always the dusty plain. Like, are we on the dusty plain area? Are we in like the dilapidated old city of the world, or where are we at there?
Where do you want to be?
I think like there's I mean, just like in the real world, there are places that are just like desert, and then eventually there will be normal civilization. So maybe we meet up kind of on the outskirts of a broken down city, but where there's still like like maybe we're outside of a giant city where there's a lot of mercenary gangs and people trying to make their way, like a lot of scavengers there, a lot of really bad people live within the city, and we kind of go in every now and then to just get supplies to try to survive, but we're meeting up in like a town or like a little shack, sort of a little more into the dusty wilderness outside of it.
Cool. Hey, how about this? We're outside of Salt Lake City area type place. And so there's a giant Salt Lake, and there's a ruined city, and there's like some religious kind of connotations of stuff around, but everything's just broke down and dilapidated.
Yeah, so like there's zealots here and there. That are maybe a little too crazy for people.
Yeah. Polygamous groups.
And like, I'm thinking maybe like the reason why I'm in this area is because since I know there's the broken down city and there's a lot of aid that is needed for the people that are scavenging and even for the bigger gangs and stuff, I don't really have any affiliation. I kind of just hang around in this area as my main stomping grounds, and instead of foraging and scavenging myself, I kind of like provide medical aid to people in order to make sure I eat and drink decently and like get cigarettes. So I'm kind of broke, but I'm living off of what I do best. So maybe I stroll into this place and I see sitting there at the bar with like a bunch of motorcycles outside, there's ShitRon kind of having a drink and talking to his goons.
Perfect. And how about we're right off the edge of the Great Salt Lake, and it's a salt flat, and the reason why we're actually there is because what little left of civilization and society is kind of gotten a little group up, and so like the bar we're in is an actual, like, it's a tent, and what people are doing is this is like the one time of the year where they actually, like, people try to come together for a little bit, and they're actually having races on the salt flats to see who has the fastest bike or the fastest scooter,
like Sturgis or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like Bonneville Salt Flats kind of thing.
And that's why I'm here, is because when people wipe out, and they always do, this is the best time of the year for me to make some extra money.
Yeah, that makes sense, because my character would keep his gang out in the wasteland to like keep them away from people. But if there's like an event where they would all want to be there really strongly, then I would have to bring them here.
I mean, you got to make that dosh somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And the name of the event is Shitstorm 2312.
I don't know if Shitstorm can be both the name of my gang and the event.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why you're intrigued. You're like, shit, why did they call it after us?
What does 2312 represent?
The year.
Well, how do they know it's 2312?
Well, there's some, I mean, after the apocalypse has happened, there's some idea of how many generations have passed or something.
Okay.
Or, you know what? How about this?
20 XDX.
It's 20. Yeah, it's 23 question mark. Or it's 20 XXX.
Yeah.
20XXX.
Yeah, so it could be 20,000 years later. It could be 200 years later. It could be just a few years later. We don't know.
Well, they're still using AD time. I mean, the apocalypse happened. Still.
Right, but they're not...
The year of our Lord.
Yeah, but they're just not sure how many X's. They're not sure if somebody accidentally added an extra X one year. And it's only been so many years, but it could be 20,000 years later.
And they have no idea who the Lord is in the year of our Lord.
I think the year changes, though. Like, we no longer count it as 365 days. We count it, maybe there's a giant event that happens, and every time it happens, that's what everybody just says, like, oh, it's been a year already, when maybe it's actually been like 3 months or something.
Okay, yeah. So this
like
event, the Shitstorm 20,000 XXX, is when the year turns over again.
So I guess, like, I see him sitting there, and I just kind of walk up and just like start berating him and saying, "You're still driving those shit buckets. Don't you remember what happened?" And just kind of like giving him a hard time about like how this is completely irresponsible and how he's gonna get his dudes killed by riding on this garbage.
Are you going hard against him? Are you going aggro?
I'm not going aggro. Like, I'm kind of just like making small talk, but since I'm just kind of a dick anyways, it's just kind of like almost a passive aggressive, like, "Hey, nice death machines you got out there," sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. And I like I just like barely even acknowledge him.
Yeah.
I'm just like, they do what they do. I just guide them as best I can.
So, ShitRon, who's your most hot-headed gang member?
Gary.
Gary.
Fucking Gary. Classic Gary.
Fucking Gary.
Okay, so what does Gary kind of look like?
He's very thin and tall.
He's a paladin.
He's
a bard.
very good looking and good with women, but he's like completely insane and just like seeing things bleed.
All right. Well, obviously, while you're berating ShitRon, Gary comes up and just tries to sock you in the face.
All right.
So, what are you gonna do?
Like, okay, is he sucker punching me, or do I kind of see him walking up?
He's kind of sucker punching you, but you know, what are you gonna do as you see this guy just basically come up and try to sock you one?
You know, I just stand there. I don't give like a fuck about this guy. I'm waiting for him to hit me.
All right, so he hits you.
Okay.
Take like 1 harm.
Okay.
Okay.
And just so when we mark down harm, I see the little harm box, and so where do you put the harm at?
Okay, the harm is that circle.
Right.
Okay, so it's a clock. So you mark one of those spaces on the clock.
Okay, so the little piece of the Trivial Pursuit pie.
Exactly. So from 0 to 3 is 1 harm. From 3 to 6 is 2. From 6 to 9 is 3. If you take any harm up to 6, it'll heal naturally.
Okay.
If you take the course of how long?
Well, depends upon how long I decide, essentially, or how long the story decides.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
From 6 to 9, it won't get better without help.
Okay.
From 9 to 12, it will progressively get worse if you don't get help.
So like a wound that's bleeding out or something, maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
From 9 to 12.
Gotcha.
And then you have 9, 10, 11, and 12. If you're at 12, you're dead.
Okay.
If you take damage beyond 12, you're dead and there's no chance of reviving you.
Okay. So like 12 is basically the unconscious type thing, and then after that would be an actual like death.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. At 12 o'clock, you need to bring out the defibrillator, and you need like blood to replace them, and you need blood packs. You need everything.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. So Gary comes up, and he just socks you one with like his knuckles covered in like spiked, brass
Like a
brass knuckles or something.
thing. Yeah.
And he just knocks you one. So you suffer 1 harm.
Okay.
Do you have armor?
I mean, I basically just have like this very light thing under my hoodie that like won't stop a bullet, but if somebody hits me with something, it'll pad it a little bit. So no, not really.
Okay, so you take 1 harm.
Yep.
Then there's a move whenever you take harm. You roll 2d6 plus the harm you've taken.
2d6 plus the harm. Okay.
So it's 2d6 plus 1, and you want to roll low on this.
Total 7. I rolled
Okay.
6 and then plus 1.
Okay, so when he hits you, it basically just takes you down and you fall on the ground.
Yeah, and
So
I think I'm there just kind of like clutching my chest, and like more than anything, I'm not even mad that I got hit, probably bleeding from like my nose and mouth and stuff. I'm just more pissed off that the cigarette I had was one of my last ones and it's broken now.
okay, so Shitty, what are you doing now that one of your guys just kind of socked this guy out?
I just laughed. Like, classic Gary.
As I'm getting up, I just say fucking Gary.
And I'm kind of over in the corner, and I see this happen, and I just instantly run up at the guy that slapped Stitch,
Yeah.
and I say, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Okay, Gary is just like having none of that shit.
And I go
What do you-
aggro.
Okay. So what do you want to happen?
He's so intimidated by my voice and my eyes, those piercing eyes, that he pisses his pants.
Okay.
So I'm gonna roll.
Yeah. So you want him to like be intimidated by you.
Yeah, I want him to like just he actually pisses his pants.
Do you want him to back down?
Yeah.
Or are you trying to actually like hurt him? Or are you trying to just intimidate him?
Let's see. Examples are if I'm successful, says get the hell out of your way, barricade themselves securely in, give you something they think you want, back off calmly, hands where you can see, and tell them what you want me to know. So I rolled a 5.
Well, no, I'm trying. Wait, it's go aggro is about if you're going to actually do physical violence, regardless. If you really want physical violence, otherwise, if you're just trying to manipulate someone or trying to intimidate someone, it's a seduce or manipulate roll.
Because on mine it says when you go aggro on someone, roll plus hard. On a 10 plus, they have to choose force your hand and suck it up, or cave and do what you want. On a
See,
7
the
or
force
9
your hand, suck it up is you actually dealing damage to him.
Okay, that's fine. So I'm gonna run up. Everything's exactly the same, but
Okay.
I don't punch him, but I slap the motherfucker with fury.
Okay. All right. So what's your roll?
Okay, so my roll was a 5, and normally that would be against plus hard, which I'm a -2, but I have ice cold. When you
Right.
go aggro on an NPC, roll plus cool instead of hard. When you
Right,
go
so-
aggro on another character, roll plus history. So I rolled a 5, so I'd have an 8.
Okay. So Gary is like, all right. He backs off calmly and kind of like, he backs off, kind of smirks, looking around at the rest of the gang, like, see what this, I don't know. See what kind of rise I got out of them. Like, he's just being an asshole or a jerk. And kind of goes back to where his table is.
And then I look over at Stitch on the ground. I kind of put my arm around him, pick him up, and I say, "We're even now, motherfucker."
I just kind of smile, even though nobody can see it because I'm wearing my mask, and I just take like the part that's broken on my cigarette and try to light the butt now.
It's all broken.
Yeah, it's just like broken in half, but like I light it anyways because this is one of my last ones.
Okay.
So I guess I sit down after that and say, "So you're gonna buy me a drink now, shit?"
I ignore him.
I just say, "Fine, I'll get my own," and I kind of wave somebody over and say, "Get me whatever you got. I don't fucking care."
Doc, I think you owe me one too.
All right, 2 of whatever you got. Just bring it fucking quick.
All right. The quote, the barman is named Fleece. Fleece collects like 2 glasses.
Like fleece, like fleece on a sheep, or fleece like I just got fleeced.
Fleece on a sheep.
Okay.
He kind of has like short cropped white hair. So like he's pretty old, and you know that he remembers a time before the apocalypse. So he kind of collects 2 like mismatched cups. You can obviously see that they're still kind of grimy from the last person who used them, and fills them with like this rotten like beer, I guess, is still what's kind of made around, with the few amounts of like food that they can still get.
Yeah, I'm guessing
sets
like
them before
instead
you.
of being fermented with like the standard like barley and stuff, it's probably fermented with just like rat shit or whatever they have available, just kind of sitting in the sun all day.
It's whatever kind of like plant material they could find. So it's
Right.
like dandelion beer or something.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Gotcha. And we call them dandies. Hey, you want another dandy?
Nice. Okay. I'm down. Yeah. So I guess I just shoot it back and just kind of grimace a little bit, because even though this is the way things have been for years now, which in our time might be months, like it's just fucking terrible still.
It's essentially been the way that you have always remembered it.
Right.
Like it's always been bad, and I'm still not used to it, but I need it.
So I look at Fleece and I go, so how many groups are coming in for the race?
It says, I don't know how many groups are coming in this year, but I guess we had 20 last time. That was about like 200 people or something.
Looking for more this year, or less, or what's the word? Is anybody doing any gambling?
Well, I don't know I don't know what the turnout's going to be, but if you're looking for some action in the clink sort of way, you might want to see Chin.
Where's he hang out at?
Oh, back
And
city
dude,
ways.
this is the worst voice for a 16-year-old ambiguous.
I know.
It makes it even better. Where the fuck is it at?
Chin.
And by the way, you said something. So, is money chink? Is that what we called? Or
That's maybe what he calls it.
okay. So where's this Chin guy at?
Chin could be found more city ways from the flat.
Okay. Thanks, barkeep.
I perk up a little bit, just knowing that near the city means probably more money, but more importantly, more smokes.
Okay.
I'm gonna look over at Stitch and say, "So, old man, how you been since I last saw you?"
I just kind of eye him and say, "Old man?"
Not Gary, just Oldman.
God damn it.
I had to go there.
I just put my head down a little bit and go like, there's not enough people getting hurt in this world. I'm not running across enough people. I need more food and cigarettes. It's getting bad out there. People are being too safe lately.
Well, shit, if we go out and watch this race today, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people fucked up. Maybe something will happen.
I just nod. Like, yep, that's why I'm here.
Okay, during that conversation, ShitRon, what's your gang up to?
They're being pretty rowdy. They're like gambling with each other, and then doing things like playing that game where you like stab knives across your fingers and like cheering, and they're pretty self-involved with that. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm just sort of keeping an eye on them.
I'm also eyeing the guy, like, playing with the knife, just kind of hoping he stabs it right through its fucking hand so I could get some work.
Okay.
So they're kind of like playing like a game?
Yeah, probably.
Yes. Well, yeah, a couple of them are playing the game, and the rest are like watching it and cheering on.
They're doing the knife game with the hands? Is that what
Yes.
they're doing?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Pip's gonna get up and walk over and kind of like trip right as I'm coming up on the table.
Okay.
And I am going to try and do let's see. Help or interfere.
Okay, help or interfere is only when you really are dealing with other players.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So if what are you trying to have happen?
What I want to do is I'm gonna come up, I'm gonna kind of trip, and I'm gonna spill my beer. And as I spill my beer, I want the dude to stab right through his own hand.
Okay. Give me a seduce or manipulate for that, as you're
Okay,
kind of
seduce.
trying to distract them.
Okay, let's see what we got here. I got a 6 with a plus hot, right?
Yep.
So it's +1. And then do I have anything? No, I don't have anything that changes that. So, yeah. So,
All right.
7.
All right. So you kind of act like you're tripping and you spill beer all over this dude, and he doesn't quite stab through his own hand. He stabs through the other guy's hand as you spill beer all over him. So ShitRon, who's the guy that was playing that got stabbed?
I think of a. His name was Dice, and he has like a really slim mustache and long hair. And he's really scrawny, but shifty.
All right. So Dice, and then who was holding the knife that got beer spilled on him?
Fatso. He's incredibly fat and bald.
So like an
Has, like, no eye-
type
he
or
has-
something.
Yeah, he has no eyebrows either.
Nice.
And Chris,
Sure.
I have highlighted on my hot is highlighted and marked. So do I mark an experience point right there?
You mark an experience point.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Anytime you roll like one of your stats, you mark an experience.
And then earlier it made me use my sharp. Or no, that was my cool. Forget it. Nope.
Yeah, you're using your cool.
Yep, forget it.
So, when you want to read a sitch or like understand something more about the situation or read a person, you're going to use sharp.
Gotcha.
Okay. So Fatso is playing this game with dice. Like they're across each other from on this table, totally ruining Fleece's table. But it's not like Fleece cares because it's basically just trash that he pulled from the city to set up outside of the race anyway. So they're butchering this table and creating basically this hand-shaped, like, stippling on the table itself. And you spill this beer and kind of bump into him. And he takes this knife and just slams it straight through Dice's hand. And Dice screams as blood just kind of like starts pouring out of his hand. And Dice just starts screaming, "Fuck you, Fatso! What the fuck are you doing?"
When I hear the scream, I just kind of smile and like stand up slowly and start walking over to them.
Okay, Dice is basically stuck to the table, and Fatso kind of backs away a little bit. But since Dice is trying to swing wildly at Fatso, but since he's stuck to the table from his hand, he's not getting anywhere.
All right. So I just kind of pushed through the crowd of people that were watching and cheering that are probably like
watching and cheering more now.
They're probably still cheering and stuff. I just like kind of move in between them, push a few of them out of the way so I can get by. And I just kind of put my hand on top of his like wrist where his hand, for the hand that's stuck on the table, I put my left hand on that wrist, grab the knife and just fucking yank it out like really quickly, and then put my other hand that had the knife, like throw the knife to the side, put my other hand on top of the cut on his hand and just like hold it there, keeping the blood in.
Okay. I want you to do you're going to be doing something under fire by pulling that knife out, especially since Dice is flailing around trying to get at Fatso.
Sure.
So you're going to roll plus cool.
Okay. -1. All right.
Roll good.
6.
So, you try to pull it from him, but his flailing around hits you in the face, and you kind of step back again. Let me see.
Okay, when this happens, I kind of yell over to ShitRon and say, "Hey, hold your fucking guy down here for a second so I can patch him up."
I start to head over. Did he successfully pull the knife out at all, or did he fail?
No. Basically, what he did was just drive the knife, so it opened the wound up even more.
All right. I step over and I try to remove the knife. So what am I?
Okay.
What am I rolling under fire too?
Well,
Or they
okay.
sort of do their
Here's the thing. You have an ability called Pack Alpha.
Yeah.
And you can roll hard to get him to listen to you. So you can do that, or you can go do it under fire to try to just bully your way in and pull it out.
I'll just do the under fire thing.
Okay.
The pack.
So
If
roll
it
plus
goes
cool.
bad. It goes bad. Nope. I rolled a 4, and that's a +1, so that's only a 5.
All right. So Dice is like, blood is just pouring out of his hand now, and he can't get loose, and he's starting to lose some of his. He's starting to lose so much blood that he's kind of like getting a little bit pale. Like when both Stitch and you have now like opened up the wound enough, you kind of hit an artery or something, and it's just pouring blood, and he kind of just starts slumping down.
I'm kind of unshaken by this, just waiting for like him to calm down enough, lose enough blood that he kind of like maybe goes unconscious, so then I can work on him. So I'm just kind of standing back and just watching this blood spray everywhere.
All right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Dice. Dice in this dehydrated and state is just absolutely about just collapsing at this point.
Mhm. I'm gonna roll Pack Alpha to like try and get the situation under control, and like
Yeah, the rest of your gang is just roaring with laughter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're savage, so they just don't give a shit about most of their other gang members.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I rolled for Pack Alpha. I rolled an 11.
Okay,
Ooh, nice.
that's a really nice.
So
So what is it you want them to do?
I want I order 2 guys to grab dice and then pull out the knife myself.
All right. So 2 guys come over and grab dice, and they kind of like, one guy is like under his arms, kind of holding him up, and you pull the knife out, and another guy is kind of holds up his feet, and they kind of start carrying him outside, so it's a little bit more room, so that Stitch can work on him.
Yeah, so at this point when he's like kind of restrained and whatnot, I guess just from my angel kit, I pull out some like kind of shitty gauze that is obviously like probably rotten and stuff, but just something to keep the blood in. So I just start wrapping it around his hand.
Okay.
Whistling a jaunty tune as I do it.
And right as they're doing this, like the whole time I've had the hey, I actually go and I do, like, if you imagine in your heads in real life, like that little cheesy like anime move where the girl like does that and like touches her head.
Oh my god.
But before this, it's all been like, hey, what the fuck?
So like your demeanor just changed 100%.
Yeah, I just flip flopped on you.
Nice. Okay.
All right. Are you using any of the stock on trying to
I'm using
fix
one.
this guy up?
Yeah.
You're using 1 stock?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, give me a stock roll.
Okay, so
Okay.
+1.
Yeah.
8 or 9. Oh wait, something fucked up here. No, sorry, it's a 9 roll 10 total.
Okay. So you got a 10.
Yeah.
So you're able to wrap it up pretty well. But like he's lost a lot of blood. Dice is actually in really bad shape after all of this, like just stabbing around and all the pulling and yanking on the knife once it was in his hand. He's probably never going to be able to use that hand again.
Okay.
But he'll live.
Cool. I would kind of just look over to ShitRon and say, well, like expecting that he's going to pay me in some way.
All right, ShitRon. This is your gang. He just healed up one of your guys.
He's never going to use that hand again. I guess he's not the one that's going to be driving your bike today, huh?
I also think ShitRon is muted.
That's what I think.
Yeah. So I was using the fucking thieves skill to see if anyone in the gang had any cigarettes, but I rolled a 3, so no dice.
Okay.
Some of them had cigarettes, but they don't have them on them anymore.
Well, some asswipe stole them from you because you know Dice had some cigarettes in his like saddlebags, and you were just going to use the cigarettes that Dice had to pay him up. So who's the fucko who stole the cigarettes from Dice?
That's a good question.
Could be Fatso. Could be Fatso.
Could be Fatso. Fatso's kind of like a jerk around here right now.
So, could I use the read a sitch skill to figure out who could have stolen them?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll roll for that. I rolled a 12 plus.
Nice.
My sharp
All right.
is plus 1 too.
All right. So you got a 13. You're good.
Yes.
On the read the sitch, you have all those options. You get to ask me 3 questions.
Okay. So who should I be on the lookout for?
You should be on the lookout for Pierre.
Pierre.
Fucking Pierre.
Fucking Gary.
I guess what's my enemy's true position so I know where Pierre is?
Pierre's known to hang around Chin's gambling hall.
Is that nearby?
Yeah, if you as you go towards the city more, he's kind of one of the Chin's gambling hall is kind of one of the first like whole buildings that you find towards the city still standing.
Okay, and then and then what's the best way to get in there to get at Pierre?
Pierre's known to hang out in the back of the gambling hall with, some of the girls that also hang out back there. But there's a hatch down into there from the roof of the building. So you don't have to go through the front door if you don't want to.
All right. So, can't pay you right now because someone's stolen the cigarettes from that Dice would have. So we're gonna go get them, and then you'll get paid.
I just kind of look at him and say, "You can't keep your own people's shit together."
I do what I can.
It is a shitstorm.
I just kind of sigh and say, "Fuck, all right," and kind of like just walk over to him.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris, just so I'm right on how this is, like, he knows all those things that he just rolled for, but none of us do as characters, correct? Like, we don't know about Pierre, we don't know about he's in the gambling hall, and we don't know there's a hatch, right?
No, only ShitRon knows those things.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
So if I want my gang to come with me, do I have to roll Pack Alpha to get them to come with me?
No, you can just have them come with you. It's if you want them to do anything that's really like strenuous on the pack that the pack might not want to do.
Gotcha.
But I would say during this time, since you pretty much figure that Pierre's been rooting around in your pack stuff or in your gang stuff, your gang's ready to just come in and beat the shit out of him for stealing from the rest of the gang.
All right. So I get the gang together. It's like, that shit Pierre stole our stuff. We're getting it back. Come on.
Okay.
And I look over and I go, Pierre? Where's Pierre at?
I'm
Okay.
walking with you because I want to make sure I get paid.